97.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, Lagos, welcome back. We're back talking this time about the matter of petrol, diesel, and aka fuel. It's a big issue in the country. We've had in the news last night and in the papers this morning that the Dangote Refinery wants to distribute petrol and diesel free of charge, I believe, to petrol stations in the country. And they also have some sort of a discount program. I think it's a discount, not discount, rather what's it called again? A bonanza, and let's call it that. A bonanza. If you buy 500,000 liters, you can get another 500,000 liters on credit for 2 weeks. How about that? So I'm trying to get my line updated so that we can call out some airtime. Call, I guess. 020127709993. So Dangote has bought 4,000 CNG trucks. That's a whole lot. 4,000 CNG trucks. That's a lot. I mean, there's money and there's money. There's money and there's money. We'll be joined by Kelvin, Emmanuel, Economist, and the National Public Relations Officer of PETROAN, the petroleum owners and retailers outlet or retail outlets owners. What is it? The Petroleum Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria. Yeah, that's what it's called. But what the nation says today, I think I'll read that paper now. It says Dangote Petroleum Refinery yesterday announced the commencement of an initiative designed to transform Nigeria's fuel distribution landscape from August 15, 2025. All right. The refinery statement made available to the nation said the refinery will begin distribution of PMS and diesel to marketers, petrol dealers, manufacturers, telecoms firms, aviation, and other large users across the country, and with free logistics to boost distribution network. So I have the statement. Actually, it was a marketer who sent it to me yesterday evening. I'll read it out for you. But let me say good morning to Kelvin Emmanuel, Economist, who joins us right here on the Morning Crossfire via phone. Kelvin, it's good to hear from you. Good morning.
Good morning, Kofi. Very, very exciting day.
Yes, you sound really upbeat. You were meant to have had Dr. Joseph Obele as counterpart, but again, he's nowhere. He's not available. But I believe that he will call me back when he's done with what he's doing. So basically, let's start by taking your thoughts on this newly announced bonanza by Dangote Refinery. They put out a statement yesterday informing Nigerians that they have purchased 4,000 CNG vehicles. That was about 5:44 p.m. with the title Dangote Petroleum Refinery to begin distribution of PMS and diesel nationwide. What do you understand by this word, distribution of PMS and diesel nationwide?
Kofi, the interesting thing is that when you look at Nigeria and you consider that Atlas Cove and Musimi are not operational since 2019, Atlas Cove and Musimi, which is like evacuation infrastructure to take product white transportation fuels out of depot or probably a refinery, breakdown in a layer of the supply chain for white transportation fuels in Nigeria, whether it is refined in Nigeria or whether it is imported into Nigeria. And there is a cartel that controls this system. So you have a country, Nigeria, that has 200 million people. You have 22 major depots around Nigeria, which are called the retail storage distribution centers, right, that are not operational. Okay? And then you have nearly more than 70 naira per liter costs in terms of getting products from depots in mostly Lagos. Most of the products that are landed into Nigeria in the era of importation, which is coming to an end, right, is taken from Lagos, right, is included into the costs of transportation for products around Nigeria. So Nigerians bear the cost for transportation. Now, in 1975, General Yakubu Gowon, under Decree 9, set up what they call the Petroleum Equalization Fund, where you layer in costs in the consumption process to the regulator, and the regulator will use that cost to pay the marketers to reduce the cost of distribution or evacuation from either refinery, or from the depots by the seaport where products are landed. In 1989, General IBB, under Decree 32, amended the Petroleum Equalization Fund. In 2021, August 21, when the Petroleum Industry Act was signed into law, that Petroleum Equalization Fund was collapsed into the midstream and downstream regulator. So you had a section of DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources, you had PPPRA, then you had Petroleum Equalization Fund that was merged into one to form the Nigerian Downstream Midstream, Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency. And then it was now called Bridging Allowances. But until today, Kofi, I can tell you that IPMAN, for example, is owed more than 100 billion in bridging allowances by the regulator. You can confirm from the regulator. They are owed more than 100 billion in bridging allowances that have not been paid. Now, the question is, the bridging allowances, the claim for bridging allowances under PPPRA before it was bridging allowances, was it actually factual? Were the claims correct? Right? Were people just filing claims and collecting money from government who collect consumption costs from the layering of costs in that pricing framework for PMS? Now, Dangote has had a problem since he came. Today he's doing 44 million liters of PMS. And that problem is the fact that outside the X-gate of refinery, he doesn't have control over the supply chain. So you've had a process where these cartels that form themselves as marketers have frustrated his ability to take products to the consumers, frustrated his ability to be able to, maintain uniformity of pricing around Nigeria. Because what you've had basically is a system where Dangote says he's selling to the market at this price, but when you go down to the east, for example, when you go down to the creeks in Bayelsa, when you go down to Biu in Maiduguri, in Borno State, when you go to in Adamawa, when you go to Ilorin in Kwara, the prices are different. Why? Because he doesn't have control over that process. And because of the PIA, Dangote cannot decide to say he wants to start building filling stations. So he said, okay, what can we do? Can we design a process where we deploy trucks to the market? But this time we're not going to use diesel. We're going to align with Mr. President's CNG initiative. And I've always said, Kofi, that the CNG initiative is commercially viable for engines with engine displacement above 2,000 cc. It works for gas to transport for vehicles that have engine displacement above 2,000 cc. Right?
All right. So
that we can send this out to the market at prices that are reasonable and create a uniformity pricing. We can create a system where all the station owners around Nigeria can come register directly with us instead of register with depot owners in Apapa or Tinkan. Okay. Yeah, instead of register with the marketing lobbies and have a situation where road transport workers are threatening to strike to frustrate Dangote, or have a system where depot owners are threatening to strike to frustrate Dangote's distribution, and then have them take the product directly. So now he's saying that you don't need to bring your truck to the refinery and take products from the country. All you have to do is register with us, make a deposit, and have the product delivered to you, cost insurance and freight. All you have to do. So if you have, for example, you have 10 filling stations around Nigeria, register with us, give us the location of the filling station. Our trucks will deliver the products to your filling station, wherever you are in Nigeria. And what this will do, Kofi, what this will do, I'll tell you what it will do. For years, we've argued about Nigeria's actual daily consumption. And I've always said that Nigeria does not consume more than 30 million liters of PMS per day. But the regulator has been oscillating. Okay? From 2002, Nigeria's daily consumption, according to the government, has gone from 21 million liters. It went to 26 million liters.
Okay.
It went to 29 million liters.
Kelvin, Emmanuel, I'm sorry Okay. All right.
It went to 29 million liters. It went to 42 million. Went to 44 million. It went to 60 million. It went to 70. Now the regulator claims that it has all of a sudden dropped to 49.8 million liters. There's no empirical basis on which the regulator measures the actual daily consumption. By this system, Dangote will be able to provide data to the Nigerian government that Nigeria does not consume more than 30 million liters of PMS on a daily basis.
All right.
And that will help the government in planning and also align with sections 317, 7 and 8 of the Petroleum Industry Act.
Okay. This particular federal government, has been dismantling, different kinds of economic, cartels, and they used the word economic sabotage when they came in. It takes me back to what billionaire Nigerian businessman or mogul Femi Otedola said, to petrol depot owners and fuel depot owners in the country some time ago. I think it was last year, that they should dismantle their depots and sell them as scrap. Is that something you see happening now? Because what it seems Dangote is doing, in effect, is bypassing the middleman and going straight to the consumer, therefore rendering the middleman useless.
Since last year, the middleman has been working to frustrate him, to ensure that the dividends of owning a refinery in Nigeria is not felt by Nigeria. When you have a situation, for example, where petrol is sold less than 900 naira at the refinery to the market, and people are buying petrol at over 8,000 naira in different parts of Nigeria, it just shows you that the middleman is trying to frustrate the refinery. Dangote is trying to create uniformity of pricing around Nigeria and saying that you don't need the middleman layer in the system cost. We can get the product to you at a uniform price at your filling station, and we're going to absorb the cost.
All right.
And so basically, it's time for the cartels to realize that the game is up, and what they can do is either align or come together as a consortium, build their own refinery and compete.
Okay, interesting. Build your own refinery and compete. Are we now heading towards a full-on monopoly? Well, of course, it's not a total monopoly because you have the likes of BUA and other refineries. But are we moving on to maybe, let's say, can we call it monopolistic competition? I need to sit down and think about it deeply before. You're an economist, so you tell me.
Kofi, this is not a monopoly.
No, barrier to entry is it monopolistic competition?
The barrier to entry. There are several refineries in Nigeria. NMPC claims that they own refineries. Yes, they've invested within the last 6 years. Kofi, they've invested actually about $1.6 billion. The $2.9 billion was approved by the Federal Executive Council on the 12th of August 2021. Right? There are modular refineries in Nigeria. In fact, HSI is building a refinery in Owaza in Abia State. Yeah. There is Aradel, there is Walter Smith in Imo State, there's Aradel. In Rivers State, Aradel is planning to build a catalytic reforming unit to be able to recover higher distillates like PMS. So Dangote is not a monopoly. Dangote came at a point when Nigerians needed a company to step in and solve the problem that the government has failed and has spent 12 trillion naira to solve for more than 25 years and has failed to solve. The barrier to entry for building a commercial refinery is very high. $20 billion is not a joke anywhere in the world. Even in America, $20 billion investment is not a joke. So you can't call Dangote a refinery. It's aimed to solve the problem Nigerians have not been able to enjoy the dividends of because the government has failed to solve this problem for years. And the money is only ended up in private pockets. How do you call it a monopoly?
All right. Okay. Let us bring our listeners in at this point. 020127709930. You welcome this move by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. They have a statement out since yesterday, and of course, Kelvin Emmanuel, Economist, has said is a welcome development. But of course, questions are being asked by some persons in some quarters. 020127709930. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
My
welcome.
name is Foya. I'm calling from Akoka.
Please go
on. Just now, you did not allow the speaker to reel out the figures You see, these figures of our consumption, daily consumption, has been a controversy, and it is from these manipulated figures that Nigerians are cheated and deprived of our national wealth by the cartel. Now, during his campaign, Peter Obi mentioned that Nigeria does not consume 60 million liters every day. It is not possible. Look at the number of tankers that will deploy 60 million liters on a daily basis. So you should have allowed the speaker to give us these figures.
No. He gave the figures. Now he said 30 million, and he asked for a minute, which I gave him. But your point is taken.
Yes. You kind of wanted to.
I have to move on. I had limited time. I wanted to allow the callers to come in, but he asked for a minute, and I gave it to him, and he made his point. So I don't know what the issue is. 99.3. Good morning. Please let's focus on the topic.
Good morning, Kofi.
Yeah, welcome. Who do we have, please?
Osar from Ogudu.
Okay, please go.
Okay, Kofi, you see, my point here is that the number of liter we consume a day, assuming they are sincere with it, even the government will not have issue with giving subsidizing fuel for us because they inflate it too much. So we don't gain anything from this country as it stands. If, for example, we consume like 25 million to 30 million liters per day, I'm sure when the government can subsidize, they can monitor it. If, for example, that Dangote is supplying, from to the direct consumers, right? They will be able to monitor, okay, how many liters do we really consume a day? Because it's so large, like 60, 70 million, who will subsidize 60 million are not running into debt. They are subsidizing a little, as in like not too much quantity of fuel. We will still enjoy from this country. We will not be dying like this. We are not enjoying from. There's nothing that the country give to this. The government give to this country. We don't enjoy any of our natural resources. No subsidy from healthcare. No one from there. There's nothing we enjoy in this country.
Thank you very much.
Because they inflate the quality of what we consume in this country.
Let's fix some more calls. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate the other caller. I had to let you go because we were queuing up. Even the other callers, I had to let you go because we were queuing. We'll take the last one before our commercial. 99.3. Good morning. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, a bit of cold on my part.
Sorry, bro. Name, location, and contribution, please.
Scott, Ikoyi.
Okay, Bele.
I don't see this as a monopoly. There's almost no barrier for entry. If you have the qualifications, you can come into it. And everybody seems to be complaining. We had seen for months ago that all those depots were going to go down, and it was common knowledge. It was clear as day. He had made all the arrangements for evacuation to be from his place. By the time he's there saying you could come and load as little as one truck, it was inevitable, and I wish him well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you calling. All right, Kelvin, Emmanuel, and to our listeners, we'll be back after this break. We'll take your thoughts further. We have more questions for you, and also give the chance to our listeners to weigh in on this. I think it's a historical move never seen before in the annals of Nigeria's history by Dangote Petroleum Refinery. So the Morning Crossfire with Kofi Bartels. I'll be right back.
I don't know, man. These days, all you hear is save, invest, save, Wait, how do you guys find this money? Is it not someone that is settled that will have money to save and invest? And even if I manage to invest or save, the interest rates are so low. And one can lose money in all these crypto, NFT, blockchain, and so on.
Introducing Fund 724. It's a simple solution to all your money goals. With as low as 1,000 naira or that urgent 2K in your pocket, you can start saving with Fund 724 and earn solid returns on your investment. And you can withdraw your money from your account for free. Anytime you like, just dial *724# on your mobile phone and follow the prompt.
Oh, so no need to download an app or join a long queue.
Dial *724# now to get started. Fund 724 is available 24/7. Guarantee Trust Fund Managers is a subsidiary of Guarantee Trust Holding Company PLC and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
The Nigerian Employers Consultative Association (NECA) invites the general public to the 4th edition of the Nigeria Employers Summit theme, Enabling Sustainable Enterprise in a Transitioning Economy. Align fiscal, trade, and regulatory reforms for rapid national development, with panel sessions focused on facilitating trade and attracting investment, regulating the regulators to promote enterprise competitiveness and rapid national growth, the tax reforms imperatives, and ESG and sustainability. Don't miss the exciting side events. Enjoy an exclusive exhibition featuring MSMEs and top multinationals, showcasing innovation, creativity, and opportunity. Date 25th and 26th June 2025 at the Abuja Continental Hotel. Time 9 a.m. prompt. Expected distinguished guests include Vice President for the Republic of Nigeria, top government functionaries, and heads of agencies. For sponsorship, partnership, and collaboration, call 002-344-9145 and 002-323-1069.
Hey, rewards don't land! When I buy airtime and data on any network,
I get up to 10% cash back.
I pay my NEPA, DSTV, or StarTimes and call
3% cash back.
Now so, smart cash back, don't get reloaded.
And they load my wallet.
Hey, it's the Smart Cash Cashback Reloaded. Top up airtime or data on any network and get up to 10% cashback, or pay your electricity or cable TV bill and get 3% cashback sharply. Only on Smart Cash. No dull yourself. Download the Smart Cash app or dial *939# to start today.
Terms and conditions, Deja.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them. Hello, do I know you?
It's us, Mommy.
But these dirty, sweaty uniforms and socks were clean in the morning. Everything don't transform. I understand though. School is hectic. It takes energy to come home this transformed. So I make sure they have some nutritious Milo at breakfast.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo.
Oh, guys, I'm running late.
I'm ready.
Told you it's gonna be a busy day for me. I've got to renew my vehicle insurance, make claims, and a few other stuff at my insurance company.
Abba, is that why you are in a rush?
Come on, life has become a lot easier. Haven't you heard of the Unis?
What's so called?
Unis.
Yes, Unis is a virtual assistant chat box that allows you to interact and do business with the company anywhere and any time of the day at your convenience. Send hi to Unis on WhatsApp on 0913-618-1656 or 0908-779-2955. Do much more with ease. Buy insurance, review your insurance policy, make inquiries, and lots more. Visit www.unitrustinsurance.com for more details. Unitrust Insurance Company Limited. The quiet confidence.
Oh, what did happen now? No bonus for all my line.
No panic, as MTN don't carry better gist come. Every 6 minutes you talk, MTN go dash you 3 extra minutes. Fiam to enter MTN better gist. Dial *123*2*1# or text BG to 312. T and C's apply.
Every day is about winning with one play on Nigeria Info. On Nigeria Info, daily winnings is now over 150,000 naira. Just go to oneplay.ng or dial *347*880*3#. Play with as little as 500 naira, and in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. The more you play, the better your chances of winning every day on the Morning Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, and Game On shows on weekdays and the Football Frenzy shows on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday, there will be a 500,000 naira jackpot. Playing during the week automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot. Your chances of winning are the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or dial *347*880*3#. Remember to play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. OnePlay is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission.
Welcome back to your #1 talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
with me, Kofi Bartels. You have the big names, the most pressing issues, and the sharpest conversations.
We must leave that place of talking into this place of doing.
Nothing are paying through their nose, and you are telling them after training they can't migrate. I will not be part of those who will give soft landing to these guys who are running the affairs of this country.
People are dying every day. In an hour, people just go in and come out and read out stories to us. Come on, Kofi.
We must step beyond the talk. We have the analysis.
Join us as we dissect the headlines, bring you exclusive interviews, and dive deep into the heart of the matter. The big conversations live here.
Join Kofi Bartels on the Morning Crossfire, weekdays 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3
99.3
Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. It's still the Morning Crossfire right here on 99.3 Nigeria. I'm trying to get across to the one of the oil marketers groups and to see if we can speak with one of them, but I think he is busy, so we'll stick with Kelvin Emmanuel. This is going to be 2-0 because I think last time Kelvin came, we didn't have the marketers here, and Kelvin was asking where are they? Anyway, Kelvin Emmanuel is an economist. Kelvin, Dr. Obele's line is not picking his call. So I was just telling my listeners all over Lagos that it's 2-0. It's 2 point because last time you were asking for the whereabouts of Dr. Obele was nowhere to be found. Okay, can you hear me now, please, Kelvin? Okay, so I was just telling my listeners it's 2-0 because last time you were asking for the whereabouts of Dr. Obele, he was nowhere to be found. And this time, but I think he said he had a lecture or something. Maybe he's in class. But for those of you,
don't mind me.
Well, for those of you who are listening, please call 0201 277-0993, and of course, our female listeners can call that number or call a special line 0201 465 7190. All reactions to yesterday's announcement by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. They are now stepping into the, should I call it, murky waters or controversial waters of petroleum distribution. Of course, it's always been a controversial area in our nation's economy, and it's something they're trying to do. Quick one on the statement released by Dangote Group yesterday. The Dangote Group on its X handle at, what time was this? This is 5:44 p.m. yesterday. This is what they said. Dangote Petroleum Refinery to begin distribution of PMS and diesel nationwide deploys 4,000 CNG tankers to enhance distribution network nationwide. Offer open to marketers, petrol dealers, manufacturers, telecoms firms, aviation, and other large users. And so this is a whole lot. I can't go into it. But I think that subheading there just summarizes it beautifully. Some marketers have raised concern, and I would like to take Kelvin Emmanuel's reaction to this. Some marketers have raised concern that this strategy, if you want to call it a forward integration strategy, is aimed at leading to a monopoly in the petroleum sector, downstream sector in Nigeria. All right, it's meant to lead to a monopoly, is what some of them are saying, and indeed is a vertical integration strategy. All right, and also they're saying it will lead to job losses, is what they're saying. It will lead to job losses. In fact, I read one comment somewhere where a particular marketer described this as a monopoly in disguise, and that jobs will be lost across the country. All right, that's what it's saying. Yeah, Kelvin, please respond to this. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree?
Kofi, who are going to drive the 4,000 trucks is deploying? Sudanese or Nigerians?
I'm here. Please go on. Sorry about my throat.
Who are the people going to drive the 4,000 CNG trucks? Are they Sudanese or Nigerians?
You tell me.
They're Nigerians. Dangote is deploying motor stations for CNG along the corridor, right? That is going to create jobs because you need to build infrastructure for motor stations. Yeah, and you need to man those infrastructure, right? That is going to create jobs. The 4,000 trucks that are deployed are not going to be driven by robots or foreigners. They will be driven by Nigerians. The mechanics that will be employed to maintain those trucks are Nigerians. So I don't understand the argument that it's going to lead to a loss of jobs. But I also don't understand the argument that it's a monopoly, because if there is any cartel that has maintained the monopoly in Nigeria and it has cheated Nigerians, it's the marketers who are complaining.
Okay, I want to go back to Femi Otelola's statement. Yeah. I want to go back to Femi Otelola's statement from last year, September 2024, where he said that the oil depots in the country should sell them as scrap. So what about the people who get employed in these oil depots and tank farms and all that? What happens to them? Are they not jobs? Jobs as well? I'm asking you, sir.
Take a trip to Eleko, take a trip to Dangote Refinery in Eleko, and see the thousands of Nigerians employed at the refinery on a daily basis.
I've not been invited. If I'd been invited, I probably would have gone there.
Around Nigeria. You said?
I can't go there on my own. I need to be invited.
Well, you can't be invited, because you are an important honor personality. I'm asking you to take a trip to the refinery and see the thousands of Nigerians at 5 or 6 p.m. in the evening. See the thousands of people filing out who work at the refinery. You can't compare, because they are Nigerians, they are not foreigners. Dangote has created jobs for Nigerians. And you see, we've been complaining about Nigerian economy for years. We've been talking about the fact that we export crude oil and we bring in poverty by importing refined petroleum products and non-petroleum products. Dangote, for example, has started producing petrochemicals, polypropylene, polyethylene crystals that are used for plastic manufacturing, which means that for years, in fact, because the temptation is to focus on only PMS. PMS is only one. There's PMS, there's diesel, there's just A1, there's carbon black, there's polypropylene crystals, he's doing LPG. Nigeria consumes about 1.6 million metric tons of LPG, and Dangote is producing LPG in Nigeria.
Okay.
And we don't have to rely on imports. So now, the point about monopoly doesn't exist, right? Or lots of jobs doesn't exist, because we have a situation where instead of export our crude oil, we're keeping some part of our crude oil to refine, right? And then sell to the markets, and then export the difference to get FX to balance the balance of payments as CBN. And I should mention, Kofi, that today, despite the fact that, NNPC has had a new management, and you've seen like a reboot of that relationship, Dangote is still not getting more than 70,000 barrels of crude oil under the Naira-based crude oil swap. He's still importing a lot of crude from America. He's doing what he's doing, and he's maintaining an equalization fund despite the fact that he's not getting up to 70,000 barrels per day in crude oil under the Naira-based swap, while importing crude oil from America.
Okay, so I want to ask you this again. Are you saying that the people employed in the Dangote refinery are more than the people employed in the supply chain of the downstream petroleum sector who will be removed from the equation with this checkmate now? Of sorts.
I can assure you there are 5 times more people more than the people employed across the supply chain. The people who work at the refinery are 5 times multiple more than the people that work across the supply chain for the depots in Nigeria.
So you're looking at depot operators, depot operations, people in the depot operations like depot managers, operations managers, quality assurance officers, administrative staff, security people, safety people, all the people in the depots. Then those in the tank farms, if that is part of what we're talking about, you're the expert, you tell me. Those in the logistics areas, drivers, logistics officers, supply chain managers, those in the distribution area, those in sales and marketing. Yes, those
at the refinery than the numbers that for the supply chain you've called put together. They are 5 times more. and they are Nigerians.
No, I'm not talking about the refinery, Kelvin. No, I'm not talking about the refinery. I'm talking about this supply and distribution move now. I'm asking, are they more than those who would have been employed? Yes.
Dangote is constantly recruiting. He's constantly recruiting for different positions. As a matter of fact, he intends to triple the installed capacity of the urea plant that makes tons natural gas.
Kelvin, you seem to be missing my question. Please, I'm sorry. You're missing. You missed the question, Kelvin. I'm asking, Kelvin, I'm asking you, those who are going to be employed in the supply and distribution of petrol and diesel, jet fuel, and all that, with these 4,000 CNG trucks, are they more than those who will be rendered unemployed by this new move?
Kofi, when you say rendered unemployed, for example, right? If the old diesel trucks that are used by some of the marketers are going to be displaced because of the forward integration in the logistics layer of the supply chain. A driver, for example, can decide to move and say, I'm going to move from this job and apply to drive one of the CNG trucks of Dangote. I don't see the problem here.
Okay, so you're saying there will be no job losses?
People change jobs every day.
No.
People change jobs every day.
Kelvin, I'm here trying to look at what the market is saying and looking at what you're saying and trying to bring out questions from both sides. So, based on what you're saying, I want you to address what they've said, okay? Not because I have an interest there, but it's just because some listeners say, Kofi, no. It's a simple question, Kelvin Emmanuel. The people who some of these marketers are saying, I've read some comments, online since yesterday, are saying will be rendered jobless, because of the bypassing. Yeah. No, but you just said that for years we've had a cartel, and then these marketers and these tanker drivers and owners and depot owners and all that have held the country ransom. So we're looking at the depot operations. We're looking at the logistics and distribution people. We're looking at the drivers. We're looking at the tanker owners. We're looking at the tanker mechanics. We're looking at the conductors, as we call them in this country, and all the people involved in the current supply chain, which Kelvin. I'm saying, will they be rendered jobless? Is it true that these people will be rendered jobless, as the marketers are saying? If yes, are those who are going to be put in a job by Dangote with this, will there be more than those who will be rendered jobless? That's how we'll know if the marketers are really true or not, are lying or not.
Okay, so when we put the numbers, right, for all the people that you've mentioned, okay, the tanker owners, the mechanics, the truck drivers, I've just said, for example, that the 4,000 CNG trucks are not going to be driven by foreigners or robots. They're going to be driven by Nigerians, which means that Dangote, by August, when this initiative is going to start and roll out, is going to need 4,000 new drivers. It's going to need mechanics, right? It's going to need supervisors. What I'm saying to you is, if, for example, jobs are displaced by this cartel, like the personnel of the cartel operations, they can simply port and apply for a job to work with Dangote. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, so we're looking at aviation companies also being this serviced by Dangote Refinery. They say the offer is open to marketers, petrol dealers, manufacturers, telecoms firms, aviation, and other large. So are we saying that the refinery is going to be distributing petrol directly to the aviation, the airlines, for instance, aviation industry, telecoms firms as well directly? Is that what it means? I just want to understand.
So, Kofi, in the petrol business, you have corporate buyers, and then you have retail station owners. Okay? So, for example, Dangote is also bridging that divide to service the corporate buyers directly. So, if they need products, they don't have to have all those costs layered in. Corporate buyers around Nigeria, for companies that need heavy amounts of products at a time, they don't need to go through the middlemen and have all those costs layered. They can get products directly from Dangote, cost, insurance, and price. Let me tell you the beauty about this. So, for a lot of station owners, for example, some station owners that own their own trucks, they have the challenge of, assuming the cost that goes with taking products from depots and assuming the goods in the transit insurance and assuming the risk and assuming all the mechanical failures that might happen on the road, the tire bursts or a driver decides to steal or divert diesel from the truck, all the issues that truck owners have. What Dangote is saying is that if you own a filling station, for example, somewhere in Jimeta and Yola, you don't have to bother about anything. Register with me, tell me what you want, I will deliver to you. I will assume the risk and the cost. I will deliver to you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to wait. The tanker will arrive at your filling station. That's what he's saying.
Okay. All right. Let's look at what this means.
He's taking the headache. He's taking the headache off the retail owners and the corporate buyers.
Let's look at this, what this means for Nigerians now. Are we going to do you foresee a reduction in the price of petrol and diesel at the pump?
So, Kofi, 1 week ago, we didn't expect that there was going to be a breakout of war in the Middle East. As we speak, there are rumors that the Iranian regime, is falling. And Israel is taking out all their air defense systems and all their Air Force artillery. That has skyrocketed the price of Brent. Brent is trading above $70. It even went up to $78 on Saturday, Friday night, Saturday. Okay? And the reason why it's gone up is because the Straits of Hormuz that has a major artery for taking up about 15.9 million barrels of crude oil from Saudi, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, Iran, right? Is at risk. If, for example, some of the Iranian-backed militias decide to block the Persian Gulf or the Straits of Hormuz, it means that nearly 16 million barrels of crude oil that constitutes about 15.7% of daily crude oil supply globally is going to be impaired. And that has moved the price of crude oil up. And because the price of crude oil has gone up, it's difficult to say that petrol prices are going to come down anytime soon. Because 1 week ago, the refinery did not expect that there was going to break out.
So are you? In the Middle East. Just to summarize it, you're saying that ordinarily this should lead to a reduction in petrol prices, but you're not sure it will because of the Middle East crisis.
No. So I'll tell you, there's what they call cracking margins, and cracking margins are based on you hedging the price of crude oil, right, to the outputs of what transportation fuels and non-transportation fuels you get. And the way this is calculated is basically your price per metric ton of petrol, which has 1,341 liters. Yeah, you multiply the price per metric ton by your exchange rate and you divide it by 1,341 liters. That's how you arrive at your ex-gate price.
Kelvin, it's too complicated for us now.
Now, the fact, I know it's complicated, but what I'm trying to say to you is that the volatility in the crude oil market is impacting on the ability of Dangote to, at the moment, reduce the price of PMS.
Okay, Kelvin,
the direct correlation.
The reason I'm asking is this. The people who normally would charge an amount of money for distribution, that cost is being taken out. Because you're saying they're delivering it free of charge. That's what you said, right?
No. Cost insurance side means that he's assuming the cost and then providing that equalization.
Cost of what?
So
assuming cost of what?
He's taking up the burden.
Cost of what?
The cost insurance, the cost of moving products. He's assuming the cost. He's taking the burden.
Okay.
He's taking the risk and the burden of delivering
so hold on.
to the market.
Is that cost now going to be still is going to be paid for by someone? Who?
It's going to be paid for by Dangote.
Okay, so if it's going to be paid for by Dangote, it means that the marketers or the petrol stations and retailers won't have to pay that amount of money. Then they can give us cheaper petrol.
Kofi, you need to understand this.
Please help me.
So if for example, X-Gate is 810, 815, 820.
Okay.
And it's going to cost you like 65 or 70 naira per liter to take products to a station somewhere in Yola or somewhere in Ilori.
Okay.
For example, different parts of Nigeria have their different costs.
Yes.
Some are lower, some are higher.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
What typically happens is that if the refinery says that exchange plus transportation costs should land you, for example, should land you anywhere around 875 naira per liter in Abuja. And then when you get to a station in Abuja, they are selling at 895 or 900. Or somewhere in Kano, they are selling at 950. They are selling at 950 because different parts have their different costs. Plus, because Dangote before now was not controlling the logistics to deliver. They were adding their own costs. What he's saying now is that we don't want that to happen. We want a uniformity of pricing in different parts of Nigeria. So if we say 880,
yes,
it should be 880 uniformly around Nigeria. And I'm going to assume the cost to get you products to your station wherever you are to make sure that you can sell at that price.
So that's 75 naira transportation cost. Who is taking it? Who is chopping it?
He's transferring the cost and burden to himself.
Okay, so
that he can create the uniformity of pricing in all parts of Nigeria.
It means that he's not free. We'll pay him for that transportation. That's 75 naira.
Kofi, I don't think you understand this. You don't understand it.
Yes.
Kofi, you should take a survey. You should have listeners call in and tell you how much petrol costs. You know, when you stay in Lagos, you think that petrol prices are the same in other parts of Nigeria like it is in Lagos. It's not. There are places in Nigeria right now. In Lagos, for example, Kofi. Okay, how much do you buy petrol in Lagos?
Kelvin, we don't have too much time. I just wanted you to tell me.
Okay, I'm asking, how much do you buy petrol in Lagos?
It is varying.
Petrol in Lagos is around
where you buy from.
It's around 870 naira,
yes.
865. Am I correct?
Yes, you're right. There
are places in the southeast today where petrol is over 1,000 naira per liter.
So let's just use any typical example. The 75 naira cost of transportation is, you say he's taking it on. Is he taking it on so that we don't have to pay it at the pump or what?
Kofi, I'm telling you that there are places in Nigeria where petrol is over 1,000 naira per liter. The place where petrol is the cheapest in Nigeria today is Lagos because it's closer to the refinery and closer to the depot.
All right.
What he's saying is that he wants to create a uniformity of pricing across Nigeria.
Okay.
And the fact that the retail station owners don't have to bother with the cost of distribution and logistics will take off the tendency of them to raise petrol prices above what it costs in Lagos or Abuja. That's what he's saying.
Everywhere in the country will pay the same.
If it delivers to you at the prices that you should get it in Abuja, for example, or near the prices you should get it in Lagos, because Lagos is closer to the refinery, you should sell at a price that is uniform to what you have in Abuja and Lagos.
All right, Kelvin Emmanuel, we have to do this again. I know I've stretched you a bit. But I mean, that's what you get on the morning crossfire. But we have to do this again. Yes, you're all right. Let me see if I can get Dr. Obele for another go sometime this week. But I want to thank you for your time, Kelvin. Thank you very much, Kelvin Emmanuel, Economist, who's been with us on the morning crossfire. He's giving his analysis and his understanding of the situation. At no point has he claimed to be a spokesperson for Dangote or affiliated with Dangote. No. He's just an economist who has read the statement, understands it, with his own expertise, and has just tried to break it down for us. That's it.
He done of trading himself. James, hello.
Susan, I beg. Say you the wine me.
For where? You who no longer depend solely on your salary.
So you people trade and don't carry us along.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.